What's up, Adam? Carlos, what's up? I'm gonna get that up on the wall quick. I know, man. That F1 newbie Maine, what's up, Maine? How you doing? First time rider? Hopefully you're starting off right, man. You're starting off right. Harley Storm Rider from Sweden, AGP Vids, what's up? Shanae, how you doing? Ratchet TV, yeah. We're gonna be starting pretty soon. Jams Nana, welcome back. You intentionally failed your test. What? Oh. Well, that's a neato bandito. That's a little playing the game, man. Bay Gold, how you doing? We're gonna start in about 1 minute, guys. We're gonna start in 1 minute. This is actually a pretty cool article that we're gonna kind of go over. I think it's pretty old. Yeah, it's old. Let's see if it's still up to what I see. I'm glad I'm able to help your progress. 15-minute break from work. Just saw the videos going live. Awesome. Got some cool stuff up going for patrons though. Got some cool stuff coming up for patrons. I'll be posting it live right after this, and it's gonna be for everybody, every patron, even the $2 patrons. So guys, sign up. It's gonna be, I'll just talk about it. I'll talk about it. You guys ready? You guys ready? Boom, boom, boom. Got a new beard. Got a new beard look. Trimmed it up. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Yeah, I trimmed it up. I think it's a little blurry. Let's see. Is this a little blurry? That's more blurry. A little bit more sharp. There we go. A little bit better. How you guys doing? So I'm having a great time. I spent all freaking day in here going over some stuff that I think that you guys would really like. Situational awareness training and After the Ride podcast highlights. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everybody that has been getting the ebook. So the ebook is currently on sale. Typically it's about $20, but it's on sale for right now for $15. But if you are a patron, you get it for free. There's a coupon code for patrons. Even if you're a $2 patron or a $100 patron, you get it for free. So if you want to become a patron, get the ebook for free. That's a great way to do it. But that's on there. The link is, I need to get mutton chops or next, guys. What was I gonna say? Oh, motorcycleridingtips.com. The link's gonna be in the description. If you need any help on where to get all that stuff, just let me know. But yeah, if you want to learn more and then you want to get the book, go to motorcycleridingtips.com. It's right there. But we're going to jump into this. So as you can tell right below, we have an article from Right Apart. I've been going through a lot of their backlog, and there's a lot of cool things in there when it comes to some stuff. I mean, it's like it's really interesting because this is back in 2013. I started riding in 2011. So if I was going to get my real training, if I was going to be really focused on training, it would have been at this point, right around then. I should have got it right when I got my bike, but you know what? This is really interesting. But they're going to talk about 7 things that students do, like really big mistakes that cause them to fail. And we're going to be going over that because I was reading through it just real quick, and I noticed there's a lot of stuff in there that I see nowadays. So I'm like thinking to myself, 2013 to nowadays, why hasn't it really changed? Is it the course materials, or is it the actual rider, the student's problem? So yeah, I need hair on top. So we're gonna be what's up, Chris? How you doing? Chris Horton with the biker wave. Yeah. Train Ducati Monster. Oh yeah, that'd be very hard to train on. Short men carry more wisdom, remember? Yeah, I do. So we're gonna be jumping into this, guys. We're gonna jump right into this. So this is it right here. Let's go ahead and just make that maximize as much as we possibly can. Let's go ahead and see if I can zoom it in. There we go. Let's do that. Let's go back to, everything's on the left side of the screen. So you're gonna have to look at the pizza. So this is gonna be a perfect Peter Piper pizza. Let's just get rid of that. There we go. So right here, guys, so it says mistakes happen, especially during the MSF training. Here are 7 common rider mistakes they see. So number 1, bad habits they teach themselves. Now this is something that I started to see like right away. I started to see this right away. You like the shape of my head? That's cool, man. That's all good. That's all good. So this right here, bad habits to teach themselves. So if you go out and you, let's just go ahead and do this. If you go out and and practice your own, that's great, because then you're going to start learning the basics, the gross motor skills, the really big motor skills. When it talks about the bad habits they teach themselves, it's typically the finer motor skills that tend to be the problem. It's not necessarily the big stuff, like, you know, how to start the bike, how to sit on the bike. The concept of friction zone, I think they talk about it in this a little bit later, but the concept of friction zone is starting to be applied. Maybe it's being applied wrong, but it's at least being applied. Head checks, you might understand, hey, I gotta look where I want to go. That might be within that gross motor skill, but then the finer points of that is you're not looking far enough ahead. But then you start to argue with the coach, like, you know, mentally anyways, like, I'm doing it. So that's where it starts to come into. Let's see, some bad habits are not so obvious. So tunnel vision, poor body position, lack of situational awareness, which we talk about quite a bit, lack of slow speed confidence, which is very important, the confidence part. That right there is what they kind of talk about. But the thing is, it's not always the problem of, you know, getting like training beforehand. I really don't want you guys to be like, well, you know, Dan the Fireman and then all these people are saying don't do anything, just go to the class. There's some definite good stuff that you could possibly do before the class. One of the requirements for the MSF, actually pretty much the only requirement for the MSF, is that you know how to ride a bike, like a bicycle. And the reason why you should know how to ride a bicycle is because you start to understand the counterbalancing, because you have to keep the bike upright. Oh, Mr. Nick with the donation. Thank you so much. Look at that. Boom, right there. Super chat. Mr. Nick, $2.99. Thank you so much, boy. So learning how to ride a bicycle is going to help you with that counterbalancing, because you got to keep it upright. And I'm getting better at that. Don't worry. I'm getting better at not getting distracted. Keep it more upright. You start to learn direct steering. So when you're actually turning the handlebars, you learn direct steering. You start to look where you want to go. So those are all gross motor skills. And then when you get to the range and when you get to the class, you're going to have to learn a little bit extra. So the whole bad habits they teach themselves, it can be a problem, especially if you are somebody that's been riding for years. Like years. When I took the BRC1 with my wife, I think September 2018, I had some bad habits that I've taught myself. Covering the brakes in the middle of a turn, applying front brake pressure during the turn, braking way too late, not setting up, all these different things. Those are the things that had to be relearned, and it would have been better if I was just a sponge and empty slate. So for you guys, if you are in that mode of I'm going to go to the class, I've never taken a class, I've been riding for a couple years, here's the thing that you really need to do, and this is for everybody. So if you have pride or if you have any type of ego, this is what you need to do when you go to a class, any class, and pretty much any situation in life. Have a beginner's mind. Go ahead and grab that information that you have already, set it off to the side. Don't lose it. Set it off to the side and have this open slate that you're just going to start taking stuff in from the instructor. Okay? Keep this stuff here, because, you know, who knows, maybe the stuff that the instructor is trying to tell you is a different way of learning that you've already learned. So after the class, go ahead and apply what's useful that you've already had to what's useful that you learned, and you're constantly doing that with every single class. That is what I do when I go and do anything. I went and took an accident scene management class. I'm already an EMTB for 11 years. This is more of like a bystander assistance stuff, so I had to relearn some things in a more of a layman's term so I can be a better instructor, because I can't teach EMT stuff to non-EMTs. I have to teach bystander stuff to bystanders. So that's kind of where I'm getting at. It's a long-winded explanation for that. Oops, wrong button. It's a long-winded explanation, but I wanted to go ahead and go over that a little bit more. So right here, lack of confidence or lack of comfort with the friction zone. Before we jump into, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the chat, because that's the whole point of live streams, right? That's the whole point of live streams. We're going to have fun in the chat. I missed absolutely everything. It's super easy to see the green, because you look at it. If you look over here, see how all the words blend in? That's kind of how it looks on me. But it's super easy to see the green, like Mark and Robert and Jams Nana. So if you guys would like to, please support the channel by becoming a YouTube member. As you can tell, we're at 179 members. If you just click that join button, it helps out. the channel so much. And let's see if we can get to 180. Let's see if we can get to 180 today. I'm in a good mood. I think I just want to go for 1 today. Let's go for 1 member. Let's see. So I'm gonna that way I can read your guys' stuff pretty easy. So it's easy for me to see that Mark was late. Come on, bro. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. So let's see. Everyone took this. Hello, everyone took classes past March 2019. Oh my god, I had a hard time figure it. 8 till still dread it. And on the test, so nervous, made it worse. I passed the course and practiced those. SS, that's awesome. Congrats. I was riding in 40-mile-per-hour winds on Monday. Thanks to your videos, Dan, I got home one piece. Cheers for the life lesson. Nick, good job, man. Why MSF students fail? I can go through. Like I know I just crashed into the fence. Oh no. Hey, Chance Daniels just became a member. We hit the mark. We hit the mark. Should I go for 185? I don't know, but I'm already happy. I'm already happy you guys are here. That's all I care about. How many patrons today? Let's double check. Let's see how many patrons we're at. 422. It's not 500. 422. Love it if we got more patrons, but you know what? I feel like the reason why it's not climbing is because I'm not giving you guys enough on Patreon. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to make sure I give you more. What is your advice on low RPM maneuvers on a 2-cylinder V engine bike? No way to keep the bike behaving periodically near 0 throttle, especially by Moto Guzzi friction zone. So with that, you're going to have to use friction zone and a little bit of throttle. So if you notice when you pull in the clutch and then you give it throttle, you hear the high RPMs. So what you do is that you give it some RPMs, give it a little bit, just a tiny hair of throttle while using the friction zone. Sometimes you're going to have to do that. Try that out. Don't just use one or the other. Use both in your situation. Robert, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Really do. Always, man. Always. You've been such a huge support of the channel. Okay, so anyways, lack of comfort with the friction zone. So that was a good question. Let me go back. Piotr. I'm going to call you Peter. Peter. That was a great question. So that was on point with the lack of comfort with the friction zone. So right here, I'm trying to figure out where it's really trying to say students fail on that, because like it says in the article is linked, by the way, in the description. So if you guys want to read it, it's a 2013 article. We're going to try to update it with some new information. I'll probably make an actual video of this, but we're having some brainstorming lessons. So this is pretty cool. Very mellow, great instruction, flying low. That's awesome. Peter, I'll call you Peter. So the friction zone exercise, remember, it's updated now. So the whole BRC1 and the BRC2 is updated. There's an updated version. It's saying the second exercise out of the range is the friction zone, and that is true. It's a 3-parter, so you're doing friction zone while you're sitting still, just kind of doing the foot maneuver, just getting the feel for that. The second exercise, you go across the whole course, and you're kind of paddle walking it, but you're utilizing friction zone. The third one is that as soon as you feel comfortable, you put your feet up, and then you continue on the path. So that exercise is extremely crucial for the rest of the exercise. So this is one that I definitely spend some time on. I can't spend too much time on because the way the structure of all the exercises is that we have to get through them. There's only a certain time allotment for that. So when it comes to that friction zone, the comfort with that, don't feel like you need to be 100% perfect after that second exercise. The reason why a lot of the instructors will move on to the third, even though you don't feel 100% comfortable, is because we saw some form of competency in that exercise. And that is very important, is that we'll see that competency, we'll see that growth, we'll see that you didn't know what to do at the very beginning, but then towards the third exercise or the end of the third exercise, we see that you're doing something, there's growth. That means in the third, fourth, and fifth exercise, you're going to continue on that growth path. So if you feel like after that second exercise, or even during any of these exercises during the class, you're like, man, I wish I spent more time. I wish I spent more time. It felt like I only had 3 or 4 runs on this. Don't worry about that. We're teaching so much. And and I think they might talk about this in the article. I haven't said this. I haven't read it. I just kind of skimmed through it. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts on this. You have to just accept it. Just accept that, okay, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not going to be perfect after 2-3 days. You're not. Of classroom and range exercises, you're not going to be perfect. And don't expect that. Remember what I said. Have that beginner's mind. Have that understanding of basically just walk in and be like, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb. And I'm here to learn. And if I suck at it even after the exercise, well, I know I suck less than I did at the beginning. And that's kind of where you want to go with that. The only time you really have to be concerned is if the instructor's like, hey, we shouldn't be going any further because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's when you start to have some of the issue on that. But I don't think anybody's going to have an issue on that, especially with this new updated curriculum. It's meant to be very user-friendly. So that one I wouldn't worry too much about. Now let's see what they actually said. Yeah, so as a student, right here, it's part of the article. It says, as a student, make sure to ask loads of questions. If you have a question, whether you think it's dumb or not, ask it. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, let's say there's 8 students in the class. If you ask that question, possibly 2 of the other students are thinking it, but never asked. So not only did you give yourself that, information that you requested and wanted, you possibly just helped out 2 other students. That is what's really important. Also, if there's something that the instructor had said and did, and then you ask a question like to kind of clarify what was happening, that could also be something like, as a coach myself, it's like, next class, I need to clarify that a little bit better in a better way. So not only are you helping yourself as a student and possibly another student, you're helping the coach become a better coach. And that's what I love about these live streams, is that you guys ask these questions and then you have these clarification questions, and I'm like, I need to relay that better. I need to do better as a coach. And it's not like, hey, as a student, like, you're a dumb coach. Coach, you're stupid. You should have known that. Guys, we're all learning here. And I have the knowledge that is necessary that you guys might want to have to become better riders. But how I deliver it to you is only going to get better if you guys are within that process. And that's why I have the Discord server. We have almost, I think, 2,400 members. We have 99 people in the chat right now. That's why I do live streams. What other motorcycle coach or anybody like that does live streams so that we can have this classroom setting? And that's what this is. This is a classroom setting. And I want you guys to be able to talk to me, and I want to be able to read your guys' comments. And that's the beauty of this. I absolutely love this. It's a great medium. How to friction zone and not burn your clutch early. So Moto Bear, you're not gonna if you're out training and stuff, you're not gonna burn your clutch early. You're just not. If anything, you want to check your clutch cable. That right there can wear and tear, but your actual clutch, I wouldn't worry too much about that. The cable, though, I definitely would check. That's part of your T-clocks. Checking your cables, your brake lines, your clutch cable, all that stuff. That's something you want to check. Those will break. But I don't think it'll break quicker, Hard on the 125 for the figure 8. Yeah, there's a ton of videos out there for the figure 8 stuff. I highly recommend checking them out. MotoJitsu has great videos on that stuff. Definitely check them out. Past MSF now. My first ride will be on the Street Glide on Saturday. Awesome. Be very careful, man. Street Glide's it's a big bike, man. What's going on, Daniel? Hector? Yeah. Love all the content you provide. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly, James. No such thing as a dumb question. So, guys, if you have questions, please ask. I'll try my best to read them. If you do at DanDanTheFireman, it pops up as orange on my screen. Here, I'll even show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you do the at DanDanTheFireman, so let's do screen capture. So Boston Celtics, man. Oh, really? The actual Boston Celtics? That's awesome. You see how he did at DanDanTheFireman? See how it's orange? And you see all the green ones? That's why YouTube members are easy to see. And then that's why it's also easy to see when you actually tag me, because it pops up as orange. So please pop up as orange by tagging me, okay? There's a screw that went into my tire. It went in clean. Should I bother getting it out? Yes, you should get it out. There's a specific way of doing it. There's definitely a specific way of doing it, especially if it's like dead center. You can plug it. But if it's still in there, it's not leaking, I definitely would take that to the dealership or someplace where you can get a tire change or get it plugged. You do not want to be riding around with it because it can get loose. Especially, think about it, guys. When you're out riding on your tires, they warm up. It's going to become malleable and possibly fall out. And then you're going to have a problem. All right. Let's see. The need for speed. So let's go to this real quick. Let's swing on by this. So the need for speed, the need to speed up, or in some cases slow down. I already know exactly what they're talking about with that. I already know. I'm disappointed about my driving school. They don't have some advanced courses. Yes, Mark, some place, that's a great question. We're gonna jump into the need to speed up real quick, so I don't forget what you just wrote. Here's the thing: is the MSF is an organization. Okay, it's just a name. Yeah, it comes up with the stuff. Very small board of directors, very small actual admin. They're nonprofit. They're not there to build up like a human resource and all that stuff. They contract out, and you have to apply. You have to do all this crazy paperwork, insurance, and all that stuff to just be one. So if I wanted to be an MSF writing course, like not a class, but if I want to create my own range and all that stuff, I have to go through all the process, and it's basically a franchise at that point. If I, like right now, I'm only BRC1 and BRC2 certified. I want to be ARC, it's Advanced Rider Course certified. I also want to be bike bonding. I also want to do all these other things. I have to go out and do that. So maybe in your area, they're not Advanced Rider Course certified. So all they can really offer is the beginner rider course. And that's all up to the coaches themselves. My rider coach experience on the range has been much the same. I give relevant feedback based on rider skill. Those that do well apply the skills. Exactly. It's great to have another rider coach in here. This is awesome. So Chris Horton right here is a YouTube member, part of the crew, man. Thank you so much. He's also a rider coach. You said you're a rider my RC experience, rider coach experience. So anyways, number 3, the need to speed up or in some cases slow down. So without reading what it says, is that is absolutely true. So speed is your friend. The correct speed is your friend. Too fast can be a problem. Too slow can be a problem. So yeah, Chris Horton's a rider coach. Perfect. Awesome. Especially on these slow speed maneuvers. If you go too fast, you're going to go super wide, especially if you're doing a U-turn. If you go too fast, you're just going to really wide. If you go too slow, without the proper counterbalancing, and even if you go way too slow, you're probably going to drop the bike, or you're going to have to start putting your feet down to maintain balance. So that proper speed, that perfect little mixture, too fast, too slow, right, just perfect, that Goldilocks zone is what's really important. So don't be scared of going fast. Like, don't be scared of speed. Don't be scared of it, because you need to use it. You actually need to use some speed on slow speed maneuvers. The one thing I really see when it comes to the actual class and people not using enough speed is definitely the tight turn from a stop. So it's usually on the corners of the range where you have to make that right-handed turn or that left-handed turn. It's a 90-degree turn within the cones, and that's on the actual test at the end, at least in Arizona. You actually have to get a little bit of speed. I mean, with that, you use some counterbalancing. You do some head tilt, or not head tilt. You do some head looking. You tilt the handlebars as much as you possibly can and feel comfortable. And then with the U-turns, all it is the same thing, but now with a little change of direction. So instead of a 90-degree turn, you just do it twice. Now you have a 180-degree turn. If you do a figure 8, now you're just going across the path and changing the direction to a 180-degree turn the other way. So figure 8s are just 2 180-degree turns with a change of direction in the middle. That's it. So if you could do a 90-degree turn, you're halfway there. So that's where you should really practice it. That's where you should really practice that. All right, so let's see what it says, though. Students will often stay within their self-prescribed comfort zones. Yeah, I agree with that. Others will use the throttle as an on-off switch, upsetting the motorcycle's stability while giving an unwelcome and fearful ride for the student. Yeah, so very smooth throttle positioning. And remember, your primary control, one of the biggest safety primary control is your left hand, and that is the clutch lever. So if something ever goes crazy, if you give it too much, you're like, oh crap, squeezing that clutch lever, roll off the throttle, and then slowly let it out, or just hold it in, apply the brakes, stop, and then the rider coach will hopefully correct you if you're in a dangerous spot. So don't worry about that, okay? How do I determine appropriate RPM limits on friction zone users? I've heard of off-road rides burning their clutch and worried why. So off-road stuff, I mean, they have different clutch stuff. So streets you're used to, street bikes are used to using the clutch. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. With slow speed stuff, here's the thing is I've never, ever had a problem on my own personal bike with my clutch outside of the Harley clutch, but that happens to Sportsters. They blow up at around 30,000 miles, so that's not what I'm worried about. But I've put, I don't know how many hours and how many miles in just a parking lot of slow speed stuff. Having to use my clutch on my own personal bikes, 0 issues. And I do it way more than you guys probably do. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. The off-road stuff might be dirt bike related, might be, you know, that type of stuff related. So that's where you might have that problem. If I take the MSF, so Jamzana, if I take the MSF test, do I have to use their bikes? They use Harley 500s. I can't ride the bike. I'm waiting for my Bergman 400 scooter. Can't I use my bike? Ask the range. So ask the person in charge of that. Literally ask them before you sign up, like, hey, can I use my bike? Now, when you say the 500s, the Harley 500s, that's probably the Harley class. And more than likely, they're going to want you to use their bikes. But if you're using a 400 scooter, that's probably with the automatic stuff. So they might let you do it. You definitely have to ask. If you came here to Ride Arizona, there you go, that hand. If you go to Ride Arizona MTC in Arizona, we'll let you use your bike. We'll let you use your bike because that's what you're comfortable with. Let's see. How much does the MSF class cost? In the chat, who's here in Arizona? Because right now we have a great deal going on when it comes to classes in Arizona. You definitely want to check it out. Go to ridearizonamtc.com. Check them out. They have some scholarships going on. It's very, very cheap actually right now. We also have MSF. We have 5 Moto Alliance that offer scholarships. So some places, they're just so different. Some states subsidize MSF classes. Some states don't. Some states like Arizona, you have to have like some type of charitable organization that will subsidize a lot of that stuff. So yeah, roughly about $350 with the bike included, with the helmet included, with gloves included, depending on the range. Everyone's a little bit different. But we try ourselves to, yeah. So Washington, I believe it's subsidized, so it's $125 for them. It's about $320, $350 for us. But that, guys. You gotta think about that. That is 2 days of actual in-person classroom and range stuff, and then you also have the e-course that you can do. So you get a lot. You get a lot for that, and if you pass, you don't have to go to the DMV. You just go straight. Well, you go to the DMV to get your license. Or you can go to a third party and then pay the small fee, turn in your BRC card, and you get your endorsement. So that's really cool about that. So let's jump into the next one. So we got right here, number 4, too much tension inhibiting good posture and riding habits. So too much tension inhibiting good posture and riding habits. What's the biggest thing here? Too much tension. Too much tension. You guys are freaking out too much. Got to be loose. You got to have fun with it. The biggest thing that I tell my students, like the one thing that has gone from class to class to class to class to class that I've never, ever, ever, ever changed was I would tell my students, dance with the bike. Dance with the bike. That bike is your dance partner. It's not it's not something you just sit on and it happens. You have to move with it. The bike's going to want to do something. It might want to lead, or do you want to lead? If you lead, are you smooth with it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the bike's not going to be smooth if you let it lead. You got to dance with it. You got to be smooth with it. Think of the beat. You see how I'm being all smooth? I can't be tense and trying to dance, right? No. If you dance, you got to be nice and easy, nice and smooth. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, it is so much easier to dance with a bike than it is to dance with a human being. Because the bike is going to do what you tell it to do. And it's not going to argue. It's as simple as that. Just be nice and smooth. But how do you get to this point where you're nice and smooth? How do you get to this point? You have to relax. You can't be thinking about stuff. Literally. You just have to relax. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. I'm serious. And it's so counterintuitive. It's so... I suck at dancing, dude. Trust me. I suck at dancing. I'm chair dancing, guys. I'm chair dancing. You know, if we hit 185 YouTube members today, I'll do actual dancing. I'll step back and I'll do some dancing. I got to find some music, maybe. Maybe, you know, if we hit 185, I'll send a YouTube member-only video. How about that? If we hit 185 YouTube members, I'll send I'll just do something stupid, and I'll just do a YouTube member only video of me doing like a 5-10 second dance. All right, so there you go. You can have. I'll even do it on green screen. So if you guys want to take that footage and use it for something else, then you could do that. So anyways, you got to be smooth. You got to be relaxed. You can't think about it. You really can't. So all the skills that you're learning, all the stuff, all the instruction that you're getting, go ahead and put it in your head, put it in your mind. But it's going to subconsciously leak out while you're being nice and easy. If you're thinking about it, you're going to screw up. Because at the end of the day, you need to be looking where you want to go. You need to be loose. And what somebody said here was hang on to the tank, not the bars. Yeah, Moto Bear, there it is. Hang on to the tank, not the bars. That's your legs. Hang on to the tank with your legs and be nice and loose up top. Be nice and loose up top. Smooth movements create smooth inputs, which will make it a smooth ride. That's what you guys need to do. And that's something, the reason why I'm able to talk like this and be nice and easy about it is because I say it all the time to my students. I absolutely love it, especially on the swerves and the straight line weaves. They got to be nice and easy. Dance with the bike. Got to do that. What's up, Robert? How you doing? How you doing? That's a great name. That was my grandpa's name. Robert. Roberto. Nah, it was Robert, but I like it. All right. So, well, let's see what they said. So let's see. While fun, the expectation to perform. Yeah. So while fun, the expectation to perform something in a class setting that you've never really tried before can be stressful. Exactly. So he says, I've seen students Superman through turns, arms rigid, locked straight. Okay. Their head doesn't turn to follow the corner. Okay. That's because they're too rigid. Adjusting the attitude instead of the technique. Exactly. Adjusting the attitude instead of the technique. The technique is sound. What you guys are trying to do is perfect. It's perfectly fine. It's the attitude of it. Because you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. That's the attitude of it. If you just relax. Get some nervous energy out during the breaks if you can. Exactly. Talk, laugh, or take a quick jog. Ask questions that you're unsure about. That's what we're here for. Dude, see, this is what I absolutely love. Back in 2013, this rider coach is saying the same stuff that I'm saying. This is what I absolutely love about the MSF is that they are so... Like, they are, I don't even want to say it because it's, they're balls deep in research, guys. They know exactly, adult learning principles. They know. They do their research. Like, the only admin and the only people they have up there are, like, researchers and people keeping it running. And then they get input from rider coaches all the time on how to make things better. They are absolutely amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Maybe at some point I could talk about what type, like if you're having a problem with a rider coach, why and how to navigate that. If that's something that you might want, let me know in the chat. I definitely would like to do something like that because not everybody's an expert in what they're talking about, even if you are an instructor, and that's fine. They're an expert in some things, not an expert in others. I'm an expert in some things, not an expert in a lot of things. So, and that kind of goes back to instructor stuff. So this is just brief little topic on that. Is that I was reading a lot about it today. Is that I'm an expert in certain areas. So when it comes to medical stuff, when it comes to situational awareness stuff, I'm starting to get a little bit higher in the situational awareness. I'm really good at slow speed and moderate to high speed stuff, but that's not my field. So if you want that type of stuff, if you really want an expert on that, go to Motojitsu or go to Canyon Chasers or go to somebody else. But if you want the motorcycle medical and situational awareness stuff, I'm your guy. Okay, that's what I enjoy. That's what I focus on. And Jams the Nana gave with $5. Thank you so much. Woo! Thank you so much. That's why you're a patron also. Thank you so much. And a member. Appreciate it. I want you guys to think of today as like a Q&A for an MSF rider coach. Like we are sitting in class. Every live stream is a class session. I do 2 sessions a week, 2 free classes a week. That's what I want to do. I want you guys to be safe. All right. So to go to the next one. Sorry, I get so distracted from all these comments. I absolutely love you guys. Space Monkey, the answer is yes. What did I see? If I do the basic riding course at Harley, can I take the advanced rider course? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Come on down. So it says, so you've dropped the bike. All right. So now that we got that topic, Woo, it's getting a little warm. Sorry. My office gets a little warm. I need to open a window or something. Ooh-wee. All right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Jerry Palladino, exactly. He does really good stuff with really big bikes, slow speed stuff. Great guy. I had a great conversation with him on the After the Ride podcast. It was awesome. Did you guys know I have a podcast? Write in the chat if you knew I had a podcast or not. I really want to know because I don't think it's going out to everybody. Michael, how you doing, man? Does your course do the beer goggles test as well? Yes. They're actually called Fatal Vision goggles. I think the company that makes them doesn't like them being called beer goggles because there's a lot of research in them. But yeah, we do that. So you've dropped your bike. This is a huge fear. A huge fear of new riders. Especially, and here's the thing, is like they're really scared of dropping our bikes. Tita, you didn't know? Come on now. Chase on Two Wheels is next week, guys. It's just uploaded. I'm gonna upload it to Patreon because all Patreon members $5 and up gets to see the next week's video early. It's gonna go up after the stream. I'll post it after the stream so you guys can watch the Chase on Two Wheels video. I had an amazing time talking to him. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Great guy. I want him on again. Anyways, one thing I don't understand is a lot of people are like, man, I don't want to drop the bike. But it's like, it's our bikes, guys. If you drop our bike and you break a lever, you might bend a shift lever. You might bend the rear brake lever, all these different things. You maybe dent it. Who cares? At least with Ride Arizona. And here's the thing, guys. Riders, I keep bringing them up. I work with them. I don't work like all the time with them because this is my gig. You guys are number one priority. You guys are the absolute number one priority. But if I like want to bone up on some skills or if I'm needed, I will do my best to be there. So guys, Ride Arizona MTC, great organization. There's a reason why I chose them. Have you guys seen my Ruroc review? Have you seen my Indian Scout Bobber review? I'm very critical of things. Very critical of things. So when I say that these guys, like, I truly enjoy working with them, and I truly, like, if I say something that's nice, it's because I mean it. Okay? So, anyways, if you drop our bike, it's not a big deal. And we treat it like, good job, you dropped our bike. Now you know what it's like. Now you know it's not a big deal. Now you know if you drop your bike, yeah, okay, maybe you might have to, like, you know, rebend your lever or do this and that. But here's the thing. You're here training. You're in as safe environment as possible to train and do what you need to do to become a better rider or to become a rider. So do it here in the parking lot. This is why I always say do parking lot exercise. Do it in a controlled environment. But if you go out there and drop our bike, I can't speak for every MSF ranger or coach or whatever. If you drop our bike, we'll fix it. And if it's too damaged, we'll get you another one. We have a bunch of bikes. So what's up from Brazil? Damn, dude. That's awesome. Welcome. So that's where we're at with that. Now, if you drop the bike and you hurt yourself or you continuously dropping the bike, like you're dropping it like, you know, it's like the 4th time, then maybe we have to work on something. You know what I mean? But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think maybe in every class there's one person that just drops it, and it's usually in the tight turn from a stop, like I discussed, which is that 90-degree slow speed turn, or the figure 8. But it's so slow speed. I think I've had one person dump the bike while braking during the emergency braking portion of the test, and it still wasn't that bad because we make sure you have the gear. We make sure you have a helmet on that's secure and safe, gloves. And then it's always recommended to wear real gear, like the jacket, pants, and boots. But we make sure you wear actual pants, actual long sleeve at minimum, and then closed-toed shoes, preferably boots. We'll actually turn some people away from wearing Nikes and stuff. We really want you to wear boots if you possibly can. So that might be something you want to check into. Yeah, guys. So we have the podcast. If you guys didn't know, we have the podcast. It's a great podcast. We have episode 20 coming out next Monday. So there's the link for the podcast. So if you want to go over there real quick, so hit that subscribe button, watch some of the stuff, and then come right back. That'd be great. Guys, remember, if we hit 185 YouTube members, I will be doing a YouTube member only video of me doing a quick little dance. Let's see if we can hit 5 YouTube members. It's $2 a month or $5 a month. It really helps at the channel, and you get a cool mustache, beard, and all the emojis. And on Thursdays we do a members only chat, so that'd be really great. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So let's see what they said. It happens more often than you think. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Trying slow speed stuff. Yep. Forgetting to put the kickstand down, which side stand. Yep. That I've seen that almost happen. They caught it. A little bit braking a little bit too vigorously. Yep, I've seen that. Panic and grabbing the front brake. Here's the thing. So if you really want to minimize that, so it says students have lost control and in a panic moment grabbed the front brake. If you want on the course, if you want to fix that, grab that clutch, like grab it, the clutch, squeeze it all the way in, and then slowly, progressively brake pressure. Just squeeze that in, and then you'll solve that problem. Hyper intense stress and nervousness. Yep, that's really what it does. That's really what it does. Yeah. So right, this is what I like. So it says, here's a little experiment for you. When you take the MSF Basic Rider course anywhere as a student, take a close look at the bikes. Yeah, they're used to being dropped. And that's the reason why we provide the bikes. Your rider coach will be happy as long as you're safe and you manage not to run over him or her in the motorcycle. Exactly. I'm going to add number 3. So number 1 is you're safe, and number 2, you manage not to run over him or her. Number 3 is that I'll be happy if you don't run over anybody else. And that you don't hurt, or that you don't have a bad time after that. You know what I mean? All right. So I think this is number 6 out of 7. So don't leave yet, guys. Let's see. Let's check the chat real quick. I hate dropping bikes. A little bit of damage drives me crazy. Yeah, same thing. Same here, James. Same here. Michael, welcome, man. Dropped the bike during the turn from a stop. Let out the clutch too fast. Installed. It was a 500-pound dead weight. Yeah. So Jarrett, exactly. So you'll figure out that speed is, and a little bit of speed really helps you balance that bike. A 500-pound bike is weightless when you have a little bit of speed. My drops have been in the multiple curves, too fast / slow, and U-turns. Oh, cool. The multiple curves. Well, I haven't seen that yet. You might be the first for me. If I hit 250,000 members, I'm wanting a video of Daniel shave. Dude, if I hit 250,000 YouTube members, I'll go to you, Ivan, and I'll let you shave my beard. If we hit 250,000 members, I'll have you shave it. I've been riding for a couple of years now. Rode many years ago when I was younger. First thing I did was MSF course. Now I've joined as an RC and having Michael. That's awesome. That is great. Braking test stopped on my Grom. Stopping. Yeah, I actually had that once. Somebody did an endo or a stoppie where it basically only the front tire and the back tire is like lifted up. Somebody did that on TU 250X. Any thoughts on new riders jumping on a massive machine immediately after passing on the 250? No, I have no. Well, I do have thoughts, I guess. So one sec. So the dreaded box is the next topic. Let's jump back to my face. I do have thoughts on that, and I say that it's perfectly fine as long as you understand that you need to be riding within your ability, not the bike's ability, and that you have a good understanding of the primary controls, which you should have after taking the BRC1. Primary controls, if everybody doesn't know what that is your clutch lever, front brake lever, rear brake lever, and then your shift lever. Those are your primary controls. That will be applied to every single bike you go on, unless there's something different, like if you go on a scooter or on like any of the Honda bikes that have the DCT transmissions. Those will be a little bit different, but the same concept does apply, is that you have the front brake lever with the right hand, clutch lever with the left hand, shift lever left foot, rear brake with the right foot. As long as you can apply that to a bigger bike, you should be golden. Ride within your ability. Ride within your ability, not the bike's ability. That is the biggest thing. All right, let's see. What's he live on besides YouTube? Just me, or just YouTube. I only do YouTube stiffs. So the dreaded box. So what does it say? So U-turns. Okay. Is it talking about the figure 8? Okay. So the figure 8. So we kind of already talked about that. When it came to the figure 8. So when it comes to that, remember, that's why we teach you guys the tight turn from a stop at first. That's a 90-degree sharp turn. It's a 90 degree. So up, let's see, 90 degree. So just the 90 degree. 90 degree. All a U-turn is is a 90 degree and then another 90 degree. So 90 degree, another 90 degree. Moto Bear became a patron. Thank you so much for becoming a patron. Really appreciate that. We got more stuff coming. Guys, if you want to see next week's podcast, become a patron on Patreon at the $5 level, and you get to see next week's podcast right after the stream. I'm going to upload it. Post it. It's already uploaded. Jesse, yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and talk to Trina. Trina is the head honcho. Her husband, Steve, is great too. Trina and Steve are amazing people. I love working with them. I'm actually going to look at their schedule and be like, you know what, when's a class, and I will teach that class, and I'll let you guys know well ahead of time. That way it can be like an event. It could be like almost like a meetup. You know what I mean? We'll do that. So the whole box. So you got 90 degrees. So you're going into it 90 degrees. Now you have to do another 90 degrees. 90 degrees. That's all it is. Now when it comes to the figure eight, you're doing 90 degrees. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going in 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Now change of direction. 90 degrees, 90 degrees. That's it. So you just really have to learn how to do 290 degrees and then go to the other side of the box. People think it's just really tough. Like this box, oh, it looks so tiny. But by the time you get to the U-turn portion, you start to understand like just the basic principles of turning your head, counterbalance, friction zone, a little bit of throttle if you have to. That's really it. And it sounds simple. It sounds simple. It really does. Thanks again, Moto Bear. Thank you so much. Robert, thank you with the biker wave. Absolutely love it, guys. Whenever we get a new YouTube member or patron, I want everybody to do that biker wave if you can. If you don't get access to the biker wave, that's because you're not a YouTube member. Only YouTube members have the biker wave. So just saying. So with the best tip I can give you when it comes to the box, the U-turn box, the figure eight box, is turn your head. That is going to do the most for you. Friction zone, rear brake, counterweighting. You could do the U-turn and figure eight by looking the other way, but you really gotta be very good with your spatial awareness, which usually beginners are not. So since you're not good with your spatial awareness, knowing where you're at, this is why I talk about the OODA loop. You need to orientate yourself. You need to observe. You need to decide, act, all that stuff. Orientation is the biggest one here. Is that since we're beginners, you can't orientate yourself very well. So you need to look where you want to go. So when I say look, I mean, so I'm riding it. Like I'm riding towards you guys right now. And I have to turn right to do my U-turn. So I have to do a full 180 degrees and come back this way. What I'm going to do with my head before the turn, I'm serious. I'm like this. My head, my chin of my chin bar is on my shoulder. That's how far you turn your head. And I show them. I show the students. I literally grab my chin, the chin bar of my white helmet. I'll grab my beard, and I put it, and I'm like this. I'm like literally hitting my shoulder with my chin. That's how much I want you to turn. Because when you do this, you see how my shoulders turned? I'm not purposely doing them. It's your and I talked about this. It's your traps and your sternocleidomastoid muscles, everything. Typically, people aren't very flexible, so when you turn your head, it turns your shoulders a little bit too. So that's what I'm trying to get people to do, is that when you turn your head, look at my shoulder, look at this shoulder right here when I turn my head. You see that? That's going to translate now if I have my hands out. Whoops, I hit my green screen. Let's see. So I'm going to yell a little bit. So if I have my hands out and I turn my head, see my hands? My hands and my upper torso turns with my head movement. And if that happens, that's a great cue, not clue, a cue to keep doing that. To keep doing that. Your keyboard doesn't have a bike. It should be. Speaking of which, guys, since we hit 180 members, I get another emoji. I wonder what type of emoji we should get. Huh. So that's why you really need to turn that head. I'm deadly serious. Now, all the little things, like if you don't turn your head, the coach can't go on with much else. You know, he's not going to be able, or he or she's not going to be able to tell you, hey, okay, use a little bit of rear brake, or, you know, do a little bit more of the handlebar turn, or here's more counterbalancing. If you're not looking where you want to go, like really looking, we can't do much else because you're not doing the first step. That's the very first step. And then we could start saying, okay, I hear the RPMs going up, so that means you're pulling in the clutch a little bit too much. Maybe you're giving it some throttle with your clutch. That's when we start to pick it up. But if you're not turning your head, we can't do much. So let's see what they say. 2 U-turns in a box. Yeah, exactly. It's just a change of direction. This box is a great chance to pull together all the techniques. Yep. Turn your head. Look at it. Turn your head as far as possible. Look back past the turn where you want to end up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Look at that. Turn your head as far as possible. Exactly. Use the friction zone and throttle to give yourself enough power to pull the bike around while making sure to counterweight with your leg on the outside peg. You may need to slide your butt off the edge of the seat to get enough of the counterweight on the peg. So this right here, I give that as like a, hey, little tidbit here. Go ahead and move one butt cheek a little bit off. That will help you out. But nowadays, they try not to do that because they want you to have both butt cheeks on. But if I see somebody doing really well, and I'm like, hey, man, make it like as tight as you possibly can. Here's how you could do that. But these right here, turn your head as far as possible. Use the friction zone. Give yourself enough power to pull the bike around. Make sure you counterweight with your leg on the outside peg. We can't do the rest of that, using the friction zone, counterweighting on that, if you don't already turn your head. We can't go to the next step unless you do that. They call it an evaluation. So let's see. The biggest word that I see is scary. So I'm assuming it's going to be rider behavior. So one little tidbit that I was able to figure out, and it was really interesting. And it's the whole adult learning principle thing, is that when people get nervous, they start to freak out. They start to go in that brown stage. Serious. So even as brand new beginners, you go into that brown stage quite a bit during your class. There we go. So one thing that I do is during exercise 14, which is the skills practice. This is where you don't get, it's like at the end of the day, right before the test, where you're not being tested on anything. You're not giving very much instruction unless you ask for it. We're just here to watch and observe, make sure you guys are safe. But you guys get to practice your U-turns, your swerve, your braking, your tight turn from a stop. You guys get to practice all that during this exercise. And what I do, and I forgot who taught me this. It might have been Trina and Steve. Might have been Mark Weiss from the Phoenix Harley Davidson. He's the one that taught me to become a rider coach. Is that we would pull out our clipboards and have our stopwatch, and we just stand there with our clipboards. Because during the skills practice, we want you to get used to us having our clipboards in our hands. Because during the whole day, we don't have clipboards. We just have our rider coach range cards. Range cards. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting you used to the fact that I have a clipboard in my hand, and that it's not a big deal that I have a clipboard in my hand and it looks like I'm evaluating you. So there's a lot of psychological that goes into coaching. There's a lot of psychological that goes into learning. And this is something that I pride myself on, that I've hyper focused on. You had Mark Weiss? Dude, Space Monkey, you're going to love him. You're going to love him. He's amazing. I had the best time. I talk to him on emails sometimes. He's a great guy. You're going to have so much. Dude, Space Monkey, you're going to have the great. He taught Trina everything, basically. Trina, the owner of Riders on MTC. He is the man. You're going to have a great time, dude. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. I really am. Oh, I'm so excited for you. You're going to have a great time. He taught me. So he taught me to become a rider coach. I took the 9-day course with him, and he was amazing. He's just like me, how I talk too much. He doesn't talk a lot, but he has so much knowledge, and he comes from a position of understanding, if that makes sense. And that's what I try to do. And that's what I've always done as an EMT, talking to patients in a bad situation. You're going to have a great time with him. Forgot where I was at. Oh, the psychology of it. And that's what I pride myself on. It's exactly what I was talking about. I pride myself on and trying to understand that works for you, that will alleviate your anxieties, that will alleviate your problems, so that you can focus on what's at hand. And that's to pass the test if you really want to. So during exercise 14, I have my clipboard out, have my stopwatch out. I'm not really doing anything. It's just that psychological treatment. So at the beginning of the skills test, everyone's all nervous because I have my clipboard out thinking I'm doing something. And then they say, screw it, I'm just going to do my practice stuff. And then when it comes to actual tests, they're in that mode, I'm just doing my practice stuff. So it really helps out. Let's see what they said. Let's see. At the end of the day, it's a test. Yeah. So just from my own experience, examples abound of students who did brilliantly all day only to make simple and silly mistakes during the evaluation. With any test in life, stress can be there to edge you into a mistake. When you hear your rider coach mention an evaluation, you'll find yourself on an idling bike waiting in line. You'll notice the very first part is the box. You start to freak out a little bit. Don't worry, because you've done this all before. Try to stay focused and relaxed. Don't worry about what other students are doing. Expect and accept a little bit of stress. Use that little bit of stress to reinforce the technique in your mind. Pace yourself and don't try to rush it. Exactly. That's it. That's it. And typically if you fail your test, like it's like golf. The more points you get, the worse it is. And there's a certain threshold, and I don't know how much I can tell you guys, without going into copyright and trademark and all that stuff. But basically, the more points you get, the worse it is. You get a certain amount of points. You can't. You automatically. It's a fail. But it's relatively hard to get those amount of points. So if you put a foot down, or you hit a cone, just keep going. Because if you hit a cone and then you're like, screw it, I messed up, it's not 100%, and then you hit the next cone, you put your feet down, you turn off the bike, yeah, you failed when it could have been just 1 point. So just go and do what you need to do and relax. Yeah, okay, so that's right there. And just kind of relax, okay? If you fail, it really depends on the range. But we know at Ride Arizona MTC, it's like you came here. It's the end of the day. Everything's fresh. We're going to give you the option. And after everybody's done, we can either test you when everybody leaves or we can test you right away. And we'll redo it with you, and it's super quick. I mean, if there's 12 students, the testing process might take 40 minutes. And then if it's just you, it'll take like 5. And I've done that. I've retested somebody, and they just flying colors after that. When it might have been nerves, it might have been the fact that I understand that. So when it comes to that, really just be like, okay, what can I do? What can I do better now? Can I take the test today? Do I have to come back another day? Don't worry too much about it though. You've already done everything you possibly can. So that was a great article. That was a really good article. I'm going to turn this, we've been talking for 59 minutes now. I'm going to turn this into an actual, like a 10-minute video. This is a great, because you guys have a lot of good questions. And this is what I run by you guys, is that, what is it that you guys like? So I'm going to make this an actual video. I might change a few things the way it is to be more relevant to what I see. Because, like, the test thing I understand, but that, to me, I think I could replace that with something else. I'll just add that as a bonus. But that's where I'm at with that, guys. That's where I'm at with these 7 tips or these 7 mistakes that cause riders to fail out of the class, when I don't want you guys to say or to fail out these classes, because it's something that you can easily do. And then before you guys leave, here's the thing, is that after you take the test and you get your endorsement and all that stuff, you're not done learning. You're absolutely not done learning. That's where I try to bridge the gap between going from not knowing how to ride or not knowing anything to taking the class. I'm trying my best to bridge that gap with my YouTube videos, and I'm also trying to give you some continuing education with my YouTube videos. But at the end of the day, it doesn't replace being there out on the range with a coach taking a class, whether it's the Basic Rider Course 1, the new updated Basic Rider Course 2, the Advanced Rider Course, the bike bonding, ultimate bike bonding, all these different things you could be taking. And you really need to go out and take. What's up, Brian? How you doing? You need to be taking these courses, okay? I love these live streams because I can answer questions, I can read them, and it's like a big classroom. So I want you guys to start treating my videos and these live streams as like a free classroom. I'm trying to give you guys a bunch of value out of it. I want you guys to be relaxed before you go into a class. I want you to be relaxed when you go on that bike. I want you to be cautiously aware, basically, whenever you get on the bike. But the thing is, when I talk about dancing with the bike and being a dance partner, being, you know, a part of this thing, that's really big in how safe you're going to be and how competent you're going to be and how your training is going to be handled and how much you're going to enjoy the bike. Because if you're not relaxed, if you're not enjoying it, it's not going to do you any good. You're not going to want to do this. You're not going to want to do this. So that is what I'm here for. So if you like that, hit that subscribe button. If you like that, hit that like button. If you like that, join Discord. It's absolutely free. And if you really like me and you really like what I do here, think about becoming a patron or a YouTube member or buying the ebook. I'm working on a course right now to where you're 30 days to a better, safer rider, something like that. It's a 30-day course. I'm really going to be working hard on that because I really want you guys to have the absolute best time on your bike, but I want you to be safe on it. That's the biggest thing. I don't want you to die or get hurt. Ugh, I hate that. We post on Discord when you meet a class. Yeah, so Jesse, there's an Arizona room in there. I don't know if you're part of the Arizona room, but I will talk to Trina and I'll find out what day. Like, it's probably going to be March. It's going to be in March because this month is just nutty. So I'm going to, yeah, or join all the above. That'd be great. If you guys want to, the Discord, if you want to know how to get on there, I have the link right here. I'll go ahead and share that with you. But if you want, here's the thing. So there's the link for the Discord. But if you want all my links, so YouTube member, or I'm sorry, Patreon, Discord, my ebook, anything, motorcycleridingtips.com. It's got like a list of all the stuff I have. Okay. So for patrons, Space Monkey, I just saw you join the Discord. For patrons, $5 and up, you're going to see the Chase on Two Wheels podcast. That's going to go out next Monday. It's going to come up right after this. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for all the wonderful feedback. Oh, that's the wrong button. There you go. Thank you guys so much for everything. This is the Discord if you don't know what it is. So let's see. I like doing this. This is my thing. So this is live right now on the Discord. See how it says Space Monkey 777 joined, and you see how it says Jams Nana just donated the stream. That was at 3:32. So thank you, Jams, for your donation. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the donations, all the memberships, everything. Thank you, Mr. Nick, for the donation. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Chance, for being the newest YouTube member. You guys are awesome. John Mooney, you just passed your test at the UK at the age of 52. Never ridden before. Learned so much from your vids. Keep it up. Thank you so much, and congrats to you, man. Congrats to you. Yeah, Chance, we have motorcycles basically for everybody here at Ride Arizona. We have TU250s, we have a dual sport, we have sport bikes, we have everything. So we'll find a bike that will fit you. Jesse just joined. Welcome, Jesse. Space Monkey, yeah. Oh my gosh. I love old school.